like Jack Nicholson.
Kiss the girl nearest to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a celibate kiss. Now I stabbed this, I cut the cake, is it? Just like that?
Wonderful.
Anything?
You like. Oh, perfect. You did it. Just leave it in the back.
There we go.
Thank you.
Now the cake is going to be taken away by our prop people. Emma has just done a little lovely job there. And White Bob's cake cleaner and cream.
Yeah.
And well, before you go, would you like to come over and say a couple of words? I'm sure everyone in this room would love to hear from you. For his service to homeless youth, Father Bob Maguire, OAM, to address you.
I am when I came in here, now I know I am. Doctor, hello. Nobody told me that. Happy birthday. DCM. Don't come nothing.
That's it.
And all of that. But it's hard. I don't know what to say. I've got no wife, child or mother. Otherwise I'd have got points. See? But I have in my hand. If all goes badly, well then I can refer to this. This is Mr. Grayling. Have you ever heard of Grayling? The secular Bible. So I thought that was appropriate, Gene. You don't want to get too religious. Otherwise, the next thing we'll be doing is taking out a collection. Don't want to get that religious. We've done that before.
As long as there's no confessions.
Oh, we can do all of that. No, anyway, listen, I was warned by Adam and his team of experts. Don't miss this opportunity. Whereas this was started off to be, I think it was going to be, what was going to be a giant fundraiser, wasn't it? With corporates coming and checkbooks and oh God, it was going to be obscene, wasn't it? We can make enough money to last for how many years? It was getting out of control. Anyway, eventually, thanks to Jean and her family, her team, put us on the right track. So we decided to have a gathering of gloriously ordinary people. Yeah, I'm introduced it before. Like telling the story of Raheen, isn't it? But it gets better in the telling, I think. And you enjoy it more, I think. And the whole thing about it is that it's true. It's not being made up. And that's why I'm extremely grateful to Jean, but also, may I mention Richard? Because it was Richard and you, together, who gave us a great boost a few years ago when we had another organisation called Open Family. To be invited by you, first of all to accept the invitation to come onto our board, and then for you to extend hospitality to us for our national board meetings was an extraordinary boost to our morale. And also the connections that you made with us with the Jewish community. Because we've had a lovely relationship and a working relationship with the Jewish community for 40 years through a couple of street workers, Henry Nissen, followed by Henry Sir, who's dead, God rest his soul, and also through the synagogue in Caulfield, who I think is tonight Sunday. Yes. Joe, are we out tonight?
Yes.
I think we're out Sunday night, and the synagogue is Thursday night. So, I mean, to me, this is a celebration of that kind of model. I mean, it looks ugly and messy, but in fact it's effective. And I think that's about all I would have desired in life, was to get the job done. Doesn't matter how ugly it looked. It would have been nice to be neat and tidy, and but that's the next era, I think, isn't it, Zach? You're supposed to be introducing the new era, where we have systems and things that go squeak in the night. But we need a bit of that, because of the world, I think, I don't know if it's ready to put up with much more of kind of... I thought it was the Australian way. I thought if you saw something that needed to be done, you got down and did it. That's what I thought. And I keep remembering, like you were telling about Raheen, I tell about the statue down on the corner of the Domain and St Kilda Road. The Fromell statue, where you've got the digger, and he's got another digger over his shoulder. And the caption is, I can't remember, it's "Don't leave me behind, Copper," or "Don't forget me, Copper." And I used to think that was in 3 dimensions, what in fact my foundation in fact is dedicated to. Don't leave anybody behind. There's a lot of people being left behind, and the categories are changing, and I think we were talking at the door about the disappearing middle class in Australia, the burgeoning middle class in other countries, but in Australia maybe missing out now on that talented middle class. So the foundation is meant to, we're involved now in another part of South Melbourne in a thing we're calling the Montague Commons, where in fact we're trying to get not only the poor, but also the aspirational class, you lot, to meet. And we were always intending that, because we're a classless society, allegedly, the Aussies, aren't we? Supposed to be. But you see, the one thing that's missing is the meeting of minds and the meeting of conversations, which we need so much to do. I was listening on the APAC channel to Jose Ramos Horta from Timor-Leste, saying fascinatingly clear and precise things about the relationship between Australia and Timor-Leste. And he's telling the story about the extraordinary, how they managed to be fighting against the Indonesians one minute, and the next minute put the past behind you, and ended up becoming best friends with Indonesia. As though that was, what else could you do, he said. You have to do it. And I thought, common sense is that you have to do it. Well, the boy in today's paper, whose brother-in-law shot her sister, his wife, and 3 children. It's in today's paper. Extraordinary testimony. She still loves her brother-in-law. And she says she doesn't understand, but she's got a hint of why it happened. But there's nothing going to change that woman's mind that she should hate, because she knows there's a backstory. And I think that's what my foundation and myself personally have been on about, I suppose, for 80 years, and that is there's always a backstory. And probably, if you want to turn religious for 3 minutes, can we have a minute? You'd call it redemption, I think. Redemption. There's always room for redemption, even those blokes with the black flags. You either blow them off the face of the earth and think you've done a marvellous thing, or else you have to have some kind of conversation with them. Because they're not pure evil. There's no such thing as pure evil. Evil is banal. It's ordinary. And that's when it's at its most dangerous. When it's ordinary, it becomes part of our collective lives. But anyway, that's enough of the sermon. What I'm saying is I'm extremely glad. Thank you, Jean and Richard, for this gathering. And I'm glad it worked out like this. In other words, what are we doing here? I like that, because it means that what I can do is pay compliments to you for the part you're playing if not in my foundation directly, at least in somebody else's life, because you wouldn't be here unless you were interested in somebody else. And that's what the world needs now, isn't it? Will I do it again? Oh, sweet, we can't play it again, Sam. Now that goes back to Henry, what's his name? Humphrey Bogart. Casablanca. So the kiddies never heard of Casablanca. They never even heard of Joan Rivers. Thank God. Who said that? Who said that the first thing on their bucket list was to wake up? So I thought it was brilliant, you know. So what we have to do now is to wake up to the fact that there's more to be done now through groups like mine. Mine's not the only one. All I'm saying is that when you see me, you see it. You know, for one reason or another, I don't know, it's psycho, that I can't see any difference between the cause and myself. And Jean and I agreed that, in fact, you workaholic and I'm a workaholic, but I mean, it's not as bad as all that, because it's a mission, isn't it? To try to build a better world. And it's all very good talking about it and being collectivists, sending emails and things about a better world. Well, go and do it, for God's sake. Thank you for being here, and you don't have to go away and say, how do we get there? The fact of the matter is that what the world needs now is you. Apps, yes, I love apps. There was a bloke place the other day wanted a photograph taken of me in front of a computer and personifying something. I'm damned if I know what it was. And I think I only had to say something like, be, connect. And that was it. He said, thank you very much. What I went. What's worse, coming on Tuesday, I think there's another mob coming to make me. Now don't laugh, you've got food in your mouth. The Dental Association of Australia, now don't laugh, wants me to be the smile of the year. Now, I mean, who are these design people? Well, the other one you sent me to, Adam. To be part of the mental health, mental week campaign or something. No, I took it as a compliment. I presume I'm the token lunatic or something. I can say that because I'm 80 and I was born in 1934. Nobody else can use the word lunatic. Alright? The same as when I pull up now with the cripple's name, I had to say that I have a disabled sign. And the woman says as I get out of the car, she says, you're not a cripple. I said, I'm a mental cripple. Oh, she's come terribly sorry. But anyway, that's enough. But I'm having a bit of fun. You know, isn't it? It's a bit of fun. And here's Mr. Grayling, and then I leave here. What, am I going to ask him for money or what? You can't ask him for money. No, you can't. No, you can't. That wasn't the brief. That wasn't the brief. What was it? Enjoy. See? It says there, seek always for the good that abides. There can be none except as the mind finds it within itself. This is Grayling, the secular Bible. Wisdom alone affords everlasting and peace-giving joy. For them, even if some obstacle arises, it's only like an intervening cloud which floats beneath the sun but never prevails against it. When will you attain this joy? It'll begin when you think for yourself. So I think that's what we're trying to get people, even now we're trying to get people considered to be non-thinking people to think for themselves. I think that's what we have to do. In fact, we've got a new thing going, haven't we? It was in a new thing going where we're trying to teach local beggars to beg with style. Because they're being nicked around Albert Park for making the natives feel uneasy. Now they're nice guys and they wander around, they do nobody any harm, but they haven't got style. So we're having classes. How to ask without offending. I'm not, in fact, going to run that course. How to ask without offending. And also maybe even using a little bit of links. The links. Well, not L-I-N-K-S, you fool, I mean L-I-N-X. The one I'm using today myself is links, African. So we're teaching lessons in that, and there's a lot of more things we have to do, and the most important thing for the coming 12 months will be, in fact, to try and get the locals to feel at home with the locals. Because the locals, our locals, have been there for 150 years. Because our place is generationally poor, isn't it, Kevin? Generationally, right back to the beginning with everybody working on the wharves and the factories. And then the nice man came and pulled all the factories down. And then the belted them into the locals for not having a job. There were no jobs. So we're trying to get the locals, the natives, to fit in with the new locals, the aspirationals, who've only been there 5 minutes. And they're saying that we bought into this place, this is ours, and da-da-da-da-da. And we're agreeing with them, you see, you can't fight the natives. See, because they're perfectly entitled. In fact, I think a woman was walking that poodle the other day, wasn't she? And after the poodle's had its cappuccino at the local cafe, well then she wanted to take off into the wide open spaces, and she ended up with tears in her eyes because there was a strange person there. One of the natives. You see, now she didn't pay good money for that. See? And what we have to do is fit in and be sympathetic with everybody. See? So that's our program for the future. And maybe if any of you would like to join in that, well then you can sidle up to Zach or any of that lot over there, the unruly lot, there or in the back, and say, listen, I'm interested in this, here's my card or something. And we can talk business for the rest of this year. Because we're going to need people like yourselves to in fact interpret to the local aspirationals what in fact we're on about. So, because we can't just use the words in the street and frighten them. So, thank you for being here. When you truly take responsibility for your own life, when you join the fellowship of all who have stood up as free individuals and said, we are of the company of those who seek the true and the right and live accordingly. In our human world, in the short time we each have, we see our duty to make and find something good for ourselves and our companions in the human predicament. So let us help one another, therefore. Let us build the city together, where the best future might inhabit and the true promise of humanity be realised at last. Oh friends, let us always be true to ourselves and to the best in things, so that we can always be true to one another. Here ends the reading. No collection. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your best wishes.
Father Bob, truly a remarkable human being. The foundation, of course, under the guidance of those people who are making the foundation